Very, very famous. It's always a good list. Looking forward to that. But we're going to begin with the devastating effects of climate change happening right now and on a massive scale. There are fires raging across Europe. They are fueled in part by extreme heat and extreme drought. The pictures on your screen are from Greece, where hundreds of people have been evacuated. And back here in the U.S., more than 100 million Americans are under excessive heat warnings and heat advisories, providing a blistering backdrop to new climate change measures just announced by the White House. Well, let's get straight to Nancy Chen, who has made the smart choice this morning and is at a New York City public pool in Astoria, Queens. Looks pretty good there, Nancy. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Tony. Definitely the smart choice here. And people were out here trying to cool down until the absolute last minute yesterday. New York City is one of many places under a heat advisory today. And it comes as bone-dry conditions and record high temperatures have fueled at least 86 large fires across the country this month alone.
Over the course of a couple hours, our whole lives changed. It was like driving through a tunnel of flames.
Severe heat is fanning flames nationwide, with several fires in Texas, where parts of Somerville County have been burned to a crisp.
The health of our citizens and our communities is literally at stake.
As above-average temperatures engulf the U.S., President Biden issued that stark warning Wednesday and promised new executive actions to combat climate change, including a $2.3 billion investment in climate-resistant infrastructure. But he stopped short of declaring a national climate emergency.
We need to act. Just take a look around.
Here in New York, some sought refuge from the heat at cooling centers, like this public library in Brooklyn, where we met Brooklyn resident Clyde Taylor.
I don't have no AC in my apartment, so I came here to cool off. It is too hot. I will have to wait for the sun to go down to go home.
Our main concern is we want people to stay cool, especially vulnerable New Yorkers.
Christina Farrell is with the city's Emergency Management Department, which is now overseeing 550 cooling centers, even as some, like 69-year-old Lawrence Posner, decided to brave the outdoors.
This is ridiculous, this heat. There should be no work. Air conditioning, water, television, sleep, that's it.
And at the public pool in Astoria Park, folks like Jahaira Rivera, her daughter November, and her new friend were grateful for an evening soak.
It was really hot, and it was actually refreshing to be in the water today.
It feels like I could get in the pool and get some air.
A good idea there. And New York City will be sweltering through at least the weekend. The heat advisory has been extended through Sunday night. And the city's Emergency Management Department says it is keeping a close eye on the power grid. They are imploring everyone to adjust their air conditioning by only a couple of degrees to make sure the power stays on for everyone, Nate.
If you hop in that pool, don't forget your floaties. Nancy, thank you. For more on what's going on in Europe, let's bring in Chris Livesay in Rome, where I was just a few days ago. And Chris, the heat was unbearable at times.
Good morning, Nate. Yeah, check this out. I'm at the Tiber River in Rome. I should not be able to stand here right now. There's a drought now, worst in decades, that's brought the water level at least 5 feet lower than normal. It means I should have water covering my feet, perhaps up to my knees. But this is just the tip of the iceberg compared to the heat wave that is hammering Europe, and it's forecast to swelter on.
Unprecedented heat from London to Athens. Firefighters in Greece race against the flames to help an elderly woman escape from her home before fire descends from above. When the fire outruns the firefighters, it's up to local residents, a few buckets, and whatever water they can carry. But water is in dangerously short supply. Around Italy's biggest river, the Po, once fertile fields for producing risotto rice, wine, and pasta, are now brittle patches of mud. Water is so scarce, this barge has been revealed for the first time since it was sunk in World War II. And in Rome, long submerged ancient ruins dating back to Emperors Hadrian and Nero now poke above the surface.
The ancient Romans used the Tiber River to navigate, to supply the city, and to build it. It simply wouldn't exist without this river, but today, thanks to the worst drought in 70 years, parts of it have been reduced to a stagnant swamp.
Around the country, towns have been evacuated due to wildfires, with 9 cities on a heat wave alert. The government blames climate change. In central Spain, forests are ablaze. The smoke and flames forcing thousands to flee, many hiding in a sports arena, like 68-year-old Fernando Jimenez.
Sorry. Yo no gonna find. He's gonna be us. No, he's nothing, no son no.
Now, the drought and the heat are devastating farmland, creating a perfect storm for the global food crisis that's already been made worse by the war in Ukraine that's blocking millions of tons of grain in the Black Sea. All of this is jeopardizing the lives of millions of people in the developing world. Gail?
Chris, Livesay in Rome, a perfect storm of mess, it sounds like. Back here in the United States, the heat is spreading in the Northeast. We're joined by meteorologist Jim Cantore from our partners at the Weather Channel. Jim,